A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritwika Gupta. Tonight we are going to focus on the robust growth of the personal care segment in India, emphasizing opportunities for businesses to adapt to changing consumer preferences and also the role of e-commerce and technology in this evolution. On the show today, I'll be joined by Sunil Agarwal, founder and chairman of Joy Personal Care, a leading skincare brand under RSH Global. But before that, my colleague Ishita Dang joins me live on the show with a report on India's FMCG sector, exploring its growth trends and shining a spotlight on India's personal care market. Over to you, Ishita.
Well, thanks, Ritwika. With the festive season just around the corner, the FMCG sector is gearing up with anticipation of growth in volumes. The FMCG sector is India's fourth largest sector with a contribution of around 2.5% to the country's GDP. This is mainly because of high consumer demand and rapid expansion over the years. In fact, the Indian economy is witnessing resilience with growing disposable income as people are escalating up the economic ladder and rising youth population. FMCG basically stands for fast-moving consumer goods that cover a wide variety of products that serve the day-to-day needs of consumers and are purchased frequently, like food and beverages, personal care products, household items, healthcare, stationery, and more. In this report, we'll dive deeper to understand the current state of India's FMCG sector and key trends to track. To begin with, India's FMCG sector is expected to witness a 7 to 9% expansion in this year, with a strong economic footprint that is expected to exceed 9.1 trillion rupees. This sector is riding a wave of growth instigated by expanding consumer base and expenditure and increasing middle-class population. This expansion is not just in metropolitan cities, but there is a scope of expansion in India's rural pocket as well, as it accounts for 60% of the country's total FMCG market. If we talk about a segment-wise division, household and personal care products account for 50% of total industry sale. Healthcare claims around 32%, and the remaining is held by the food and beverages segment, that is around 18 to 19%. Several industries, including home care, healthcare, food and beverages, and personal care, support India's FMCG sector. And speaking of India's personal care market, a Red Seer report predicts that it will grow at a 10% CAGR from 2022 to 2027, driven by rising disposable income of consumers. As FMCGs compete for a large share of the personal care market, brands are adapting to evolving consumer expectations. It will be interesting to see which businesses in the personal care industry ultimately succeed in meeting consumer preferences and sustaining for the long run. Major FMCG companies in India are HUL, ITC, Nestle, Britannia, Marico, and so on. Despite optimism with industry's growth, there are significant challenges as well. The first is limited storage space. This is one of the critical concerns as FMCG companies have inadequate storage, which leads to disorganization in stock, overcrowding, and disruptions in packaging processes. Other challenges include shelf life of the product, seasonality, and regulatory compliance. Now, let's move on to the revolutionization of the FMCG sector. The FMCG sector has flourished beyond just the conventional methods and adapted to digital transformation. This ever-evolving digital landscape and new innovation is paving a way for the FMCG industry to go beyond. It not only aligns the requirements of suppliers and consumers, but also enhances efficiency in managing systems, data collection, tracking consumer behavior, and experience. The optimum utilization of digital technologies has also helped the FMCG companies to go global. The Indian government has also launched several initiatives aimed to accelerate the growth of the FMCG sector. Initiatives like Gati Shakti, PLI schemes to boost domestic manufacturing. Additionally, ONDC, that is Open Network for Digital Commerce, and FDI, which is Foreign Direct Investment, are in place to further boost the competitiveness in the sector.
Well, thank you for that report, Ishita. In conversation now with Joy Personal Care. Listen in. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Agarwal, for joining us today.
Pleasure mine as well.
So I want to begin this interview by talking about the big picture. The beauty and skincare industry in India has witnessed significant growth in recent years. Tell us, what is your perspective on the current state of the industry, and what do you see as the key opportunities for businesses in this evolving space?
Yeah, so this beauty and personal care industry for last 4-5 years post-COVID has been really growing exponentially in India as well. Although we had been a laggard, still our per capita consumption in India for beauty and personal care today is $7.5 per annum, where a country like Indonesia, which is our peer country, so to say, in Asian country, it is 3 times, and in China it is more than 5 times. So there is a lot of opportunities here, and things are going well for last 4-5 years, and affluence is growing, and India has a huge young population in the age bracket of 22 to 35. More than 30% population is that age bracket. So working population having loads of money with them, and the affluence is growing. So people are more beauty conscious, and availability of very, what you can say, economical internet data after the advent of Geo. So that has also helped a lot. People are now exposed to the global trends in the beauty business. So there's a lot of consumption happening. So overall, the industry is showing a lot of promise, and there is no way, I don't see this industry is going to grow very well in next 10 years going forward. I can see that.
Now, Mr. Agarwal, Joy Personal Care has maintained its legacy as a prominent player for over 35 years in both Indian and international markets. How has the brand consistently adapted to changing consumer preferences while maintaining its strong market presence?
Yeah, you're right. So actually what happens is a company which is in this business for more than 35 years, and more so as a homegrown company. So the biggest challenge for us is to remain relevant to the consumer needs. The consumer needs are changing. People are exposed to the global trends. So you have to keep reviewing and reinventing yourself. So that is what we have been doing. And in our company, innovation is the key. We always look at the innovations as what next, and is the organization future ready? Are the products in sync with the requirements of the current crop of consumers? So for us as an organization, we always believe that product has to be the hero, and I always believe our organization have this deep-seated belief that if you have a good product, you can never go wrong. So the love for the product is more than the love for money. This is how we have been structured ourselves, as what we are giving instead of what we are getting. So what happens is, if you run a homegrown organization with this mindset, so there is a perennial belief that we will continue to grow, and this is how we have been able to not only survive and sustain ourselves, but we have been growing very well in this industry.
Now, with the brand closing FY24 with a revenue of 575 crore rupees, Mr. Agarwal, tell us, what factors do you attribute to this growth, especially in this mass market segment?
Basically, what we have been doing, this industry has, because last 5-7 years have shown a lot of growth. So with growth, what happens is you get a lot of distractions also. Anything and everything, any organization will like to do many things. So what we have done, we have strategized ourselves very well. We are not only knowing what we have to do, it's also important for us to know what not to do. So we are very clear as to what are the core categories where we want to operate, we are a mass brand. So where our mass brand consumers are moving, what are the requirements of those consumers. So there has been a D2C boom last 4-5 years. But it's not that we have been, a lot of brands got swayed away with those booms, but we of course, we took a lot of lead from them, but we have always knowing what is the path we have to select, where my consumers are. We are knowing our consumers, we know our play, accordingly we have been doing it. So that is the reason we have been able to grow more than 20% year on year, even after such boom in the industry and so much of competition.
Fantastic. Mr. Agarwal, your growth strategy also includes a target of achieving 750 crore in revenue by FY25. You also have the goal of becoming a 1,000 crore company by FY27. So can you share more about the key initiatives driving this ambitious growth plan?
So the initiatives, yes, we are taking a lot of initiatives. We work not only in general trade. So as an organization, we are taking multiple steps actually to grow. We first and foremost, we are setting up a huge facility in Baddi again, which is almost 3 times more volume generating than the current volumes we have altogether. So we will have 4x of the production capacities which we have today. by the end of this year. So this is one part that is from the back end. About the sales part, as far as general trade is concerned, we currently are directly distributing in 1.7 lakh outlets. So we plan to grow this to 5 lakh outlets in next 3 years. So that is a major task which we have taken on ourselves, so that we are available and accessible to more number of consumers. And then it comes to modern trade. We are already one of a preferred brand there. We are well admired in chains like D-Marts, Reliances of the world, which are the real mass operators. So there we are already well admired, and we are having more deeper footholds in these chains. So that part is also will take care to achieve our goals. And as far as online business, which is a recent phenomena in our life, we just started it 3-4 years back. There also we are doing a lot of inroads, and I think this year, the current year which we are operating, will almost close at a GMV of almost 200 crores. And 5 years back we were zero there. So this is how we have been, so we are picking up the current trends as to which channel to go with and where to operate more, and that is how we are able to be on the path to be a 1,000 crore company. Not only a 1,000 crore company, we aspire to be a 1,500 crore company by 2028, to be honest. So this is how we are aspiring. And even for exports market, we doing tremendously. We are growing tremendously well there as well, almost 25% year on year, bringing in a lot of countries and doing deep marketing in some of the countries where we are doing very good business. So, and more so, we are coming up with some masterpiece brands as well in future. We already started a niche pregnancy safe brand also recently. That is just in the early days, but of course, maybe numbers will not be a lot of big contributors, but we are always trying to keep ourselves future ready for the evolving needs of the consumer. So these are some of the points which say that we are on track and we are on road to our 1,500 crore goal by 2028.
It's time for a quick break here. On the other side, we continue our conversation with Joy Personal Care. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. In conversation tonight with Sunil Agarwal of Joy Personal Care. In this segment, he speaks to me about enhancing the brand's retail presence and digital channels to achieve ambitious targets. Listen in. Now, I understand Joy Personal Care is planning to expand its direct distribution network to 5 lakh outlets in the next 3 years. Tell us, how do you plan to strengthen your retail presence across the country? And are there some challenges you foresee in achieving this scale?
Of course, see, GT is the most challenging task. General trade is the toughest task in the entire chain of, business which you do in FMCG. General trade is a beast, people say. So, you just have to pick up your goalpost. Like I said, today we are targeting 5 lakh outlets in 3 years. After we complete those 5 lakh outlets, then we'll aspire for 10 lakh, then 15 lakh. This is how it is. So you have to be very consistent and persistent, and perseverance is the key when you work in GT. You cannot have, Rome was not built in a day. This is how GT operates. So it's not like one day ka hero, you just do plug and play and you start. It's not an online business. It's not a modern trade chain where you get listed and your product start selling there. General trade is a lot of footwork. You have an army of people who are operating in the market. You have an army of distributors, a lot of human resource requirements. So you do it step by step. This is what we are doing. And we have identified few geographies where we are going to grow the maximum. Not only that, to get to those 5 lakh outlets, we are even classifying the outlet class. Some outlets are promoter driven, some outlets are having a lot of visibility. So we have various programs whereby it will not be just reaching out to those 5 lakh outlets. It will also be, getting almost what you can say 60 to 70% of business from maybe 20% of the outlets. This is how. So the business is well structured, well designed. We have to monitor this, recently we have onboarded, we have Salesforce automation has already been implemented in our organization, and our distribution management system is also getting in place very shortly. So we are doing a lot of back-end integration also and automations also, so that data are lively available and we are knowing where we are going wrong and we can always correct it. So analytically, a lot of analytics being put into place. So I hope these all things will certainly contribute to our goal of reaching to 5 lakh outlets in next 3 years for time.
Now, online channels are increasingly becoming important for consumer brands today. How does Joy Personal Care plan to enhance its digital presence and tap into the growing e-commerce market?
Yeah, this is a recent phenomena, but growing very exponentially. So you will not believe 5 years back when COVID struck, 3-4 years back, we were hardly doing any online business. Being a mass brand, it was not at all, it was a lot of bottom lines will get drained away. You don't make money. Actually, you will make losses. So that was a challenge when we were hardly operating online business. But post-COVID, we put a dedicated team, separate team for online. We are doing maybe more than 25% of the promotional budgets today even in a mass company like ours is being allocated to digital marketing. So a lot of footprints, we are growing, a lot of our promotional budgets are being pushed towards digital advertising and marketing and online business. As I said earlier, my GMV for this year will be around 180 crores. So online, yes, we have onboarded it late, but we are fast picking up and we are almost at par with the industry in no time. So we are very sure that even the digital online business will also continue to grow for us.
So the brand has a strong presence in northern states like UP, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, and you have set your sights on expanding into Maharashtra, West Bengal, Bihar and Gujarat as well. Could you elaborate on your strategy for market expansion in these regions?
We are already very popular in some of the states. Now we have picked up these few states also as well to grow deeper. So the strategy here will be we work like a startup there in these markets. We allocate disproportionate budgets for marketing, for human resource deployment in these markets so that we are able to fast forward the presence in these markets where we are not as well present as we are in Rajasthan or a UP or a Delhi. So we want to catch up with Maharashtra, Bengal, Gujarat and Bihar, these 4 states. We want to pull them up and make them at par with our equivalent presence as we have in our so-called evolved states. So disproportionate deployment of resources certainly will one of the thing, and identifying the hero products. So every market has different hero products. So for a Maharashtra it might be a body lotion and a face wash category. For a Bengal it can be a face wash and a sunscreen category. For a Bihar it can be a moisturizer category. For a Gujarat it can be a different category. So we have to identify what would be the hero category that we already identified, and we are working accordingly very strategically as to which market where the consumer preferences for what type of products is more, and accordingly. So India is a vast country. There are many Indias in one India. That is what people say. So accordingly, when we pick up a state, we work out according to the requirement, the consumer preferences of that state. So strategically we are moving and putting in a lot of efforts and money and resources into these markets so that we can pull them up.
Sure. Now, as a leader in the personal care industry, Mr. Agarwal, how do you view the opportunities for MSMEs in India's FMCG and personal care sectors? What role can homegrown brands, what role can smaller businesses play in this ecosystem?
So I believe today's India, MSMEs have the biggest opportunity, I'll tell you. Reason being, there have been a lot of these startups, and they have been doing very well. In fact, they have given, some of the brands have given a run to the legacy and traditional brands as well. These small-time startups have grown immensely well in last 4-5 years. So it's not there. India is a huge country, I always say, and there is a room for everybody. Only thing is the brand should know the play. They should know the consumer, and there's an opportunity for everyone. It's not like only traditional brands or large corporations can survive in India. So even smaller brands, we just did a startup 3-4 years back, have grown to humongous levels in the last 4-5 years. And this has been a very recent phenomena and a very healthy phenomena. So there is a very nice ecosystem evolving, and there's a room for everyone. So I always say, today's India, we see there is a lot of coexistence. So it's not like either this will work or that will work. This and this and this and this, everything will work. You just need to know your play. So there is a huge opportunity for MSMEs. There is no doubt about it, and it will continue to be that way.
And finally, before I let you go, tell us, how has being based in Kolkata influenced Joy Personal Care's growth and operations? What are some advantages and what are some challenges that you've experienced while doing business there?
So I'll come with the challenges first. So when we started maybe 35, 38 years back, so that time certainly it was more challenging. Reason being, this part of the world was not so much into beauty and personal care as far as the brand ownership is concerned. Of course, the consumption not always been there, but not many brands were there from this part of the world. So the exposure, of the any new brand which wanted to start from here was very difficult. I remember those days I used to travel to Mumbai and Delhi to participate in all the exhibitions because there was no internet those days. So to get hold of a raw material or a formulation, or as to where to find what, the availability and accessibility of the raw materials even was very difficult. But thanks to internet, after the internet came in, the entire world is now one, and there is an accessibility to everyone. So now it is no more a challenge operating from anywhere in the world. So most of the companies are now doing work from home, so nobody is attending anywhere. So even if you are sitting in Bombay or working from home and sitting in Calcutta working from home, it works out the same thing. So I don't think now it remains a challenge anymore. Now it is more of an advantage for us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed the episode today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.